You just hear the distant sound of a deep, hearty laugh. And which side of the river are you going to come out on? Where are you going to go?
I come out the side that the gentleman was on.
Simon, at all this time, or Red at all this time, has been just sort of looking at everything really confused. he paddles through the river after you. As you're crossing the river, yeah?
Yeah, and coming out on
and
the side.
Comes out on the other side, and you're just like, because you're soaked to the bone now. And he just sort of stands, looks at you, shakes himself off, and just looks at you like, what are you doing?
I look back at him and I go, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, boy. Oh. But then this wave hits him where he just feels that he's getting dragged further and further and further away from what he set out to do. And he's just really worried about Libby now. His original thought was to go back to the castle and find Jeffra and get a force. Let's go look for Libby properly.
Do you want to follow the river then? That's the best bet.
I think
follow it downstream.
Yeah, I'm just getting dragged further and further away out here. I think my keenness to help people is something I'm realizing actually could be putting Libby in danger.
Okay.
So let's head towards the river and follow it. What I think would lead me all the way back to the castle. I need to get back to this castle. This is. I feel silly now.
So you start heading down the river. You start following the river down. Red follows at your heels, sort of just being attentive and seeing what you're doing. And the river becomes broader and more placid. And then it opens out into a small lake. Mm-hmm. And in the lake you can see somebody out fishing on a boat.
I ignore them.
You ignore them?
I ignore them.
Okay, so you're just going to start skirting around the edge of the lake. As you're skirting around the edge of the lake, you're heading through the forest. Just so it turns into conifer forest and steep sides, which turn into mountains higher up. You follow around the edge, picking your way carefully, and as you're starting to come around and it seems to open out a bit and you can see a sort of jetty, so you need to carry on around, and you notice that the boat is rowing towards the jetty.
Okay. I just continue walking in the direction that I am, regardless of that observation.
Okay. You carry on skirting around, and as you come to the jetty, you see that there's a sort of bedraggled old man, fairly hunched, tying up his boat and hauling some fish, like trout, into a basket and packing up his fishing equipment.
Is he within earshot?
Yeah, you're coming around the edge, and then there's his jetty.
Okay.
And he's at the end of the jetty. So.
Cool. I shout, good morrow there, sir.
And he sort of jumps and shocks and turns around. He's like, "Oh, you shouldn't sneak up on old people like that." Oh God, it gave me the fright of my life. I mean, what's a strange man like you doing out in a place like this?
I do apologise. I did not mean to startle you.
Well, we don't get very many people up here unless they're from the castle.
Castle Frogmore?
No, the castle.
What castle are you making reference to there?
The castle that's just down the river.
Oh, Castle Frogmore.
No, the castle.
This guy's pretty dumb, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he's insisting on the castle.
Okay.
He's like, but could you do an old fella a hand? If you're going that way anyway, could you take these fish for me? It's a bit of a struggle now.
How many fish?
It's just a big basket.
Okay.
With about 12 large trout in.
It's forgive me, but it's very odd to notice someone willing to trust a complete stranger. I mean, not that I'm not trustworthy, I just find it quite peculiar, that's all.
He sort of looks you up and down, he goes, well, you've got coat of arms, haven't you? You must be an honourable man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, and I think he actually just realises, oh yes, I'm still wearing my because then he just thought, I just left the castle that night. I'm still wearing my. Then he just realizes how long he's been away, and he's still actually just wearing those clothes from the night, you know. And he's like, oh, yes, as if he just realized. Yes, I'm from the castle, Castle Frogmore, just down past the river there.
And he looks at you and he's like, well, if you wouldn't mind carrying these for me, and then you can be on your way and I can deal with all this stuff here.
Of course. My name is Drew Wentworth, by the way. Could I have your name, please, sir?
They call me Old Magpie.
Old Magpie. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. I would very much be pleased to help you. I need to ask some information, though. I'm out here looking for my daughter who is lost. You haven't happened to have seen a young, tall, thin, blonde girl about your travels, have you?
No, sir, I haven't. But if you get yourself to the castle, they might have some answers for you there.
Well, I'm from the castle. That's where my daughter is from, you see.
No, the castle.
What do you mean, the castle?
Just keep on down the river and you'll get there.
Even though he's very confused, he still thinks that he's talking about his castle, Castle Frogmore. So he says, "Yes, of course," and takes the basket. Is there anything I can do for you?
He's like, you've done enough already, thank you, good sir. It's nice to see a generous soul in this day and age, and that honour isn't dead.
Oh, yes. I think Drew's just very shocked that he's come across...
looks up at you with a wry smile, and then turns to his boat and starts undoing the rope on it.
Drew's very confused. He's just kind of like had all these bad experiences, and then suddenly there's a really nice gentleman who seems kind of cool, and he's not really expecting something bad to happen, but it doesn't. So he says, "Yes, well, take care of you and your own," and turns on his heels with the basket and goes, "Come on, Red."
Okay, so you start walking. Are you following the edge of the lake?
Yeah, to the castle that this guy's talking
As you follow around the edge of the lake, you see the guy get back in his boat and then row past where you are, and he seems to head around the lake a bit further, and you see him disappear off down the river.
Okay. Which I find odd because he's going that direction anyway. Okay, weird. Can I see the castle from here?
As you follow around and skirt around to where you saw him disappear, you come to the mouth of a river which is feeding off of the lake. And it's a kind of fairly broad, lazy river, and you sort of think to him, like, why did he want me to carry these if he was just going to take a boat? In fact, why couldn't he have offered... I'm confused. He seems so nice. And looking down the river ahead, you can sort of see a tall tower peeking up over the sort of conifers further down. So it's like you're looking down a river, and you know sort of it curves away a bit and disappears, but just peeking out from out of sight, you can see a tower. Make a perception check. The tower is not Castle Frogmore. It's got a pointy minaret on top. Like a blue slated one, and it has white, very light, almost white stone tower which seems to come down very steeply, and then there's a parapet, and then it seems to cut in and come down, so it looks almost like it's built to maybe 10 stories high.
Blue and white?
No, that's the roof.
Yeah.
The roof, yeah, but the castle is. It has blue slate roof on it, and it has sort of a white stone.
And this isn't Castle Frogmore?
Not as far, the tower's too tall. Castle Frogmore is much more of a rugged, sort of dark granite stone kind of.
But
whereas this is a very pallid stone, almost opulent.
It's very odd. There's similar colours though. And where am I? Am I even in? Where the hell did this boar take me? Like, where the heck am I?
Do you want to make an intelligence check on that?
No.
Okay.
No, I think Drew's just so confused.
So you start following the meander of the river, contemplating why he gave you these fish.
confused as to where I am.
And the tower disappears out of sight as you get close to it behind the dense coniferous forest, and you kind of follow the river, and then it opens out. There's a meadow, and there is a tall, multi-turreted castle, each with a pointed, blue-tiled minaret on top. And it rises steeply. It's quite narrow, and it sits right into the sort of mountains. Come down. It sits into the mountains and kind of peers up in between them. And the river carries on away from you, behind you. So if the castle's here and you're coming from this direction, the river carries on away that way, whereas the castle's sat where two mountains meet there in a pass. And there is a drawbridge down and a portcullis is raised, but you can't see any people.
This is the point where he ultimately realizes that he is very far from home. He thought he was pretty close. He thought it might have just been up in the mountain pass just a bit further up, but it feels like this boar's take, like, what happened on that journey with that boar, because I was all like passed out and, you know, I've been traveling for so long, I didn't really gauge time. Am I in a different place? Like, what the hell is going on? Oh, these are the questions that he asks himself as he... Okay, so there's no people, we can't
Not that
see.
you can see.
Not that
You're
you can
approaching
see.
across the field. Or the meadow. Also, it's late autumn, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the strange thing about this meadow that you do notice is it's in full flower. There are bees and butterflies.
Like full on mid-spring.
Yeah.
What is
Like in
going
full bloom.
on? Wow.
And the sky is still this fixed kind of cold blue. The light is still this strange ambient light where it feels like sort of dawn or maybe mid-morning or maybe early evening, but the light's neither fading nor increasing.
Wait, so it doesn't feel like any time has passed since I woke up? In terms of observations of the light?
Yeah. The sun hasn't moved. You haven't seen the sun either. It's never appeared in the sky.
But it's bright. Weird, where am I? What the heck is going on? What the hell? Oh, wow, okay,
You approaching the castle?
Oh, I really don't know. This is unlike anything he's ever... I'm going to approach the castle, but I don't want to be seen.
It's an open meadow. And there appears to be a drawbridge, which would infer that there might be some kind of moat as well.
Let's go for it. I've got this fish. I'd like to look at Red and gauge how Red feels. Does he feel on edge? Does he feel...
He seems completely relaxed,
Completely
almost like it's a
relaxed.
home away from home.
Can I sort of try and gauge to know if he recognizes this area? 15, 14.
Sense motive on him.
Yeah.
He seems like he's in a dream. That's all you can gauge it as.
Weird.
He seems like it's completely normal for him, but it's like as if he was in a dream. If that's the sense of motive you get from him.
Yeah. That he's familiar with this, but it's as if he's not. Yeah, I get what you mean. Weird.
Also, you get the impression that he hasn't seen anybody but you. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So like,
Okay.
in hindsight, you think when he came up on the bank and looked at you like, what the hell are you doing?
Whoa, okay. Weird.
So you're approaching the castle?
Yes, I'm approaching the castle.
So you head up, and as you're moving towards the castle seems to be immaculate.
Uh-huh.
Like the outside almost looks like it's been scrubbed on a regular basis. There's no lichen, there's no sort of moss, there's none of the stuff that you would associate with either a long-term castle being present or a castle which, even a normally maintained castle, wouldn't be this pristine. It's almost like it's brand new, but then as you get closer you can see that actually it is weathered, which means it should have been stood there for a long time, but it doesn't really make sense that the stone is so clean. Also, looking in, there's no light, so it's just like a big open moor of a sort of giant arch, a drawbridge lowered, so the chains are running down, big heavy iron chains, which again look well maintained as you get closer. They look oiled, there's no rust to be seen, but there's no light, no sound, nothing coming from inside, it's just black.
I cross the drawbridge.
Your feet thud on the drawbridge and they echo back to you from inside.
I shout, I come as a guest with no harm intended. Does anybody hear me?
Just echoes back from inside.
I walk over the drawbridge and into the castle proper.
As you walk into the castle proper, you almost literally, as you step from the drawbridge into the castle and your other foot leaves the drawbridge, suddenly you're walking into an already lit room. Like the entire this big arch has now got torches burning on either side of you, burning at the other end. You can see a raised portcullis ahead of you, and then it opens up into a long military style sort of, is it gantry? It's an open sort of a chamber it's a murder hole basically, where there's another portcullis at the other end, and that's illuminated as well, and you can see illumination beyond that and an open gate which looks like it opens out into a courtyard.
And now there's people and stuff?
You can't see any people. You just walk in and it's light.
Can I look behind me from where I've come?
Yeah. You don't even need to make a perception check. As you turn to look behind you, you realise that the drawbridge is now closed.
Dude, what is going on?
Not a sound has been made, it hasn't had any time to do. You've walked in, it's all changed, you've turned, and the gate is shut behind you.
Wow, what is happening? What is happening?
Red is right next to you and just seems perfectly like this is normal.
Okay, hello? I have some fish!
This time when you shout, somebody at the far end shouts back, "Well, hurry up then, bring them along!"
I look to Red and go towards the voice.
You start moving into the area which would be the murder hall.
Okay.
And you keep walking through, and as you come to the other end, you move through and there's a gate and it opens up into a very perfectly kept courtyard with stone paving and a well in the centre of the courtyard, pristine stables, everything is empty, everything is immaculate like it's brand new but weathered like it's old. And at the other side of the courtyard you can see a very old looking woman with a very large backpack. And then she sees you and she's like, "Oh, it's you! I'm not having none of this!" And she goes around, opens the door and slams it behind her.
Oh!
Make a perception check.
16.
Going by the layout of the castle, you would judge she's probably just got into the kitchen.
Right. Okay. I go to the door that she slammed and I knock. And
She's like, I don't want to talk to you, you got me wet! My feet got wet, it's your fault!
I'm sorry, Are these fish for you? There was a gentleman on a boat who told me to come here.
And she's like, oh. And opens the door a peek and peeks up and he's like,
So he came and saw you, did he? Oh, aren't you the blessed one? Ooh, get above yourselves now, are we? Ooh.
and then she slams the door shut again.
Can I spot anyone else?
And then you just hear a voice being like,
Just leave the fish outside, I'll get him in my own good time. Not being bossed around by someone who can't even stop me for little old me, little tiny old me from getting my little teeny feet wet. I mean, come on! Besides, I'm busy, I've got stuff to do.
and then the voice seems to recede and be sort of effing and blinding under its breath about things that need to be done and feasts that need to be prepared and...
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I'm just leaving the fish here as you ask. And I put the fish on the step, but take one of them. Belt it.
Okay.
Take one of the fish.
Do you want to go into the... There is a... This comes in, there is another stairwell that goes up to what would be the main entrance to the keep.
Okay. Can't see or hear anyone else? No cattle, no horses, no dog
completely
kennels,
empty, nothing, not a sound. Just you,
just her
Red,
in that kitchen.
and her
Okay.
in that kitchen. When you can't hear any sounds coming from behind the door.
Is there an armory around?
You could look for one.
Could I do a spot check for an armory? Nope. 7.
You glance around and you recognise doors as being doors, but this is a strange fortress. You don't know the ins and outs of it, and you know that most people plan their fortresses specifically to be different to everybody else's, so that it isn't easy to find these kinds of things.
Okay. Maybe I'll find what I'm looking for inside the keep. So you said there's a stairwell up to the entrance to the keep. Let's go up that way. Let's move silently, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just in case, because this is really weird. This is really weird. Probably 16. Move silently.
You move silently up the steps. No creaking, nothing. Even Red is right on your heel, and yeah.
Oh, you got them.
And he's super silent, just next to you, just imitating what you're doing. And you go up the steps and come to a large wooden door with a smaller wooden door in it.
I'll listen. The door. Oh, I've got. Oh no, that's not his. Is that his? Yeah, these are his, isn't it? Yeah. I've been using that before. 20, not natural.
You hear footsteps coming towards the door, and you feel the door. You hear a creak, and the door opens up in front of you, and you're sort of there listening as the door starts to open.
These aren't actually his.
Where is?
He doesn't have any. We'll figure it out later.
The door starts to open.
Okay.
You can make a reflex save to see if you can not get caught out. For
Yeah,
this.
alright. And reflexes. Dex?
Yeah.
14.
So yeah, you're listening, and the door starts to move away from you. You sort of almost lean into it, and then you're like, oh. And the door opens, and there is a liveried young man, a boy really, maybe 10, 12 years old, liveried in with a kingfisher symbol, and otherwise entirely in blue, which makes you think this is rather expensive for somebody living in the mountains far, far away from the royal houses. Even though the blue is used to some extent in the Frogmore stuff. But that's really it's to show that there is some wealth, but to have a full blue liveried page effectively.
Who is he a page to?
On this kingfisher symbol, and you don't know of it.
I have no recollection of the
You can
kingfisher
make it. Go for it.
Yeah,
See what
let's
you
do
get.
it. Natural 20, cool.
You recognise it from an old tale, and it's the tale of the Fisher King. And in the tale of the Fisher King, a white boar with pink socks and pink ears and red eyes will lead a questing knight into the other world, the world of the Fae. And in that world you may meet the Fisher King, who will always present themselves as somebody other than whom they are, before revealing whom they are, before finding out who you really are, in order to decide what you need or what you will become.